Hey guys, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery. And we did our live feed talking about our 5-year anniversary. And I want to start with that. First, I want to thank Ricky from Kansas, Michigan Unsolved for joining us on that live feed. This was the second live he has joined us on. It's always an honor to have him on here. Incredible person. They are an incredible group of people doing great stuff with Kansas, Michigan Unsolved. Ricky, thank you very much for joining us on that live. 5 years for us is a big milestone. Very proud to be at this point and looking forward to the future and many years of helping families yet to come. Once the live feed concluded, it was brought to my attention that, our team members that were on there, Alex, Tamara, Chrissy, Megan, all spoke about what brought them into this, and I didn't. So we talked about it, and I figure I'll just go ahead and do mine on a video and get it out to you guys. But 5 years, I made the statement on the live feed. Sometimes it feels like it has gone by so quick. Sometimes it feels like an eternity, but very proud to be at this point. And we're at this point for several different reasons. One of those being our team members. And I want to take a minute and kind of talk about that for a minute. When Muddy Water Search and Recovery started 5 years ago, it was Megan and I. Shortly after, Megan's sister, my sister-in-law, Chrissy, come on to the team. Go down the road a ways, and Alex and Tammy joined the team. And then Jeff, and then Tamara. And in the process, we also had Chris. And unfortunately, just life and work and everything, he needed to step back. And with Dan's doing incredible things with Missing in USA over on TikTok. Him and his team there, they have done incredible work, help bring home multiple people, including Amber Alerts, specifically Amber Alerts, and just doing incredible work over there. So proud of him and what they're able to accomplish. But it's been an incredible 5 years. And I've only put this number out once, maybe twice publicly that I can think of. But in 5 years, Muddy Water Search and Recovery has had a hand in helping to bring home over 3,500 missing people. 3,500 plus missing people. An accomplishment we are very, very not only proud of, but very thankful that we were able to do that. Now, when I first said that number recently publicly, I did have some people say, well, man, none of the other teams come near that. I do want to step in and comment on that. Most of the other YouTube teams, and I call them YouTube teams because they're on here, no different than us. It's not a negative slam. It's just easier to say it that way because we're all on YouTube. They focus on cases, most of them, not all of them, but cases that involve a vehicle. They involve the possibility of being in water, and for many of them, no foul play. We go a bit further. We take any case that comes into us that's a missing persons case, we don't turn away. If it's water search, if it's ground search, if there's potential foul play, we look at it a little different. For us, that doesn't matter. It's a missing person that needs to be found. I fully understand why some teams have stricter guidelines. I understand that. To be honest, I have considered that for our team in the past. And as a prime example is the threats that our team has received. We have received several, and it does make you stop and say, hey, should we do this particular thing under these circumstances? So far, we've been able to make the decision to move forward, and everything went safe, everything went good. But I do see why teams do have strict guidelines with that, just out of a safety precaution. I respect them for recognizing that and taking those steps to keep themselves safe. They have my respect and everything doing that. But we do things a little different. Probably why we have probably received more threats than several of the others as well, but we will continue doing what we do day in and day out. So what got me into search and recovery, and what brought about the formation of Muddy Waters Search and Recovery? Well, before this, I had a company, Muddy Waters Hunting and Fishing Adventures, where I made fishing lures and hunting scent sprays and other hunting and fishing products that I was selling on an online store. I had stores ready to start carrying my products within their stores. Some already had started on a trial run type thing. And I started this YouTube channel that was originally Muddy Waters Hunting and Fishing Adventures, where we were going to film our adventures and share them here on YouTube. And one night, laying in bed, being an outdoorsman, hunting, fishing, camping, the whole works, laying in bed, scrolling through YouTube, and Megan kind of touched on this, I come across the video that was Adventures with Purpose. In the thumbnail, I see two men in a boat, so I'm thinking I'm going to watch a fishing video. Start watching it, very quickly realize this ain't a fishing video. But the name Randy Leach come up, and to date, I have lived in Leavenworth, Kansas for 17 years. I moved here from Southern Missouri. But being here for an extended period, I had heard the name of Randy Leach, knew he was a missing person. And not far from me, within like a 45 minute drive. So it caught my attention. I watched it. Then I come in and got Megan and said, hey, you got to see this. So we went in and watched it, and I start binge watching. And something inside of me shifted. And Megan and I went to go to bed one night, turned out the lights, laying there, and I couldn't go to sleep. I had this feeling I had to do something to help. And not just on the Randy Leach case, but the missing persons cases, period. I knew I had to do something to help. I didn't know what I would do. I had to do something. And Megan sensed that something was bothering me, and she asked me what's wrong. And I told her, I've got to do something to help. So I remember she turned the light on that's in the headboard of the bed. And she sets up. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the Randy Leach case, missing people. I've got to help. All of these years experience hunting, fishing, being in the woods, on the water, reading sonar, reading sign, doing all of this. Maybe my past experiences can help bring home missing loved ones. And she agreed. She felt the same way. So we start looking at what we can do to start helping. And binge watching on YouTube, I noticed that all of the other teams focused on water searches where a vehicle was involved or a vehicle was also missing. And so I told Megan, I said, with my experience in the woods, reading sign, knowing the layout of the land, maybe we should focus on ground searches. And initially, that's what Muddy Water Search and Recovery was going to be, was ground searches. But our first few searches led us to water. I've got a lot of experience reading sonar from fishing, very comfortable reading sonar. So we made the decision we're going to do land and water searches. So that way, any case that comes into us, regardless, we're prepared to work on this case, do our own open source investigation into that case, using information to determine where we need to search and be prepared to go do those searches. So that's what we geared up and lined up to do. It hasn't always been easy. I'm starting out. We bought up a lot of gear and equipment just for, 24, 48 hours later, it all went missing. It was in the vehicle, then it wasn't in the vehicle. So then we had to completely start from scratch. And it took us some time to do, but thankfully we were able to. We have done multiple searches these last 5 years, water and ground-based. We've used drones. We have more equipment we're planning on getting this year to broaden what we do. We are going to be incorporating diving, all of that stuff into this, and just continuing to grow our capabilities. And, seeing where we are in 5 years, I cannot wait for the next 5 years to see where we are and see how many families we have been able to help at that point. I wish teams like ours wasn't needed. I wish there was not a single missing person out there. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. Teams like ours is needed, and Muddy Water Search and Recovery will continue to do everything we can to help bring these missing loved ones home. So that brought about the formation of Muddy Water Search and Recovery. Shortly after we got going, our first searches were for Randy Leach. And shortly after that, Chrissy, Megan's sister, my sister-in-law, she come on board with us. And at that point, we had multiple cases that had come in, including a Billy and Mary Black out of Atchison, Kansas. So we start working on it. And in the process, Alex and I are starting to have a lot of conversations. And I find an image on Google Earth that looks like a vehicle underwater. The measurements are right. The shape is right. Everything looks right. And the measurements match the vehicle Billy and Mary Black own and was missing as well. So we start lining up the search to go do this. And I invited Alex and his wife, Tammy, to join us on that search. And Tammy's son ended up coming with them. We show up, we do the search. Unfortunately, it did turn out to be farm equipment. But after all the conversations with Alex and Tammy, we'd met up a couple times. And I'd already run it by them to see if they were interested, and they were. After talking with Megan and Chrissy, we invited them officially to join the Muddy Water Search and Recovery team. They did. And almost immediately, we saw a difference within our team. We were stronger. We were getting more accomplished. And it's just been incredible watching that grow. With Alex, after Alex came Dan. Dan ended up joining our team. After Dan, with Dan being on the team, is when we lined up the ground search for Crystal Kipper. And in the process, one of Alex's good friends, Chris, come out with him. And we done that search. And Taylor, Tammy's daughter, and they done such an incredible job that day on that search. So we invited Chris to be on the team, and he accepted. And then Jeff was next. Chris, unfortunately, his job and all of that, he did have to step back. Life was just too busy. It happens. Very good guy. Dan, as most of you guys know, has Missing in USA over on TikTok. So it got to the point, it just seemed better for him to be focused on that, just from all the good they were doing. And they have done so incredible over there. We're very proud of what they've been able to accomplish. And then Jeff's work schedule and everything is very hectic. That's why you haven't seen him on any of the lives or videos, but he's so helpful behind the scenes. And just as the team grew, so did our capabilities, not only out in the field, but with our open source investigations as well. We joked about it a little bit during the live feed about the long nights. I don't know how many nights we've been on our computers while on the phone, on speakerphone, digging into things. Megan hears me talk about cases continuously. Chrissy hears me talk about them continuously. I bet Alex and I probably send 30 plus messages a day that's generally case related. It's been nonstop. Last year, did have to step back for a bit. Last year's when I lost my mom. 4 months later, Megan and Chrissy lost their mom. She was a second mother to me, just incredible person. About a month later is when I was rear-ended, totaled our vehicle, had some minor injuries from that. So last year, 2025, we did have some setbacks with that, but we are ready to hit the ground running this spring with our searches, several searches lining up. We probably have a full year's worth of searches right now, how it is, and it seems more adding on every day. And we are very thankful and grateful for the trust that has been put in us by families who are missing a loved one, by law enforcement agencies, not every law enforcement agency, unfortunately, but multiple law enforcement agencies we've been able to work with. And it's just been incredible. Everybody has the same goal, and that is to bring that missing person home. And those working relationships are crucial. We've stated this many times in previous live feeds, but teamwork is what brings missing loved ones home. None of us can do this on our own and really be successful. So very thankful for the team I have, very thankful for the connections we've been able to build, and very thankful for each and every one of you. Your support is what helps us be able to do this. Now, financially, we don't get much support with that. We make $100 to $200 a year from our monetization here on YouTube. We did get another subscriber tonight, 2,995. If we hit 3,000, we're going to do a big live feed where we do a bunch of giveaways. But it's just been back and forth with the numbers. We ain't even hit 3,000 yet in 5 years. I think a lot of that is because we steer away from the drama. Let's be honest, drama sells. And the way we look at it is the families who are missing a loved one watch our live feeds and our videos. They're going through enough without all the extra drama from outside that's not needed. So we're not going to get involved in drama for attention or for views or for likes or anything like that. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. There are some teams that seems they're more about drama than finding a missing loved one, but it is what it is. You know, anybody out there searching for a missing loved one, we are very thankful for. But it definitely takes teamwork. And, you know, when we have people like Ricky and Derek over at Kansas Missing and Unsolved that we can talk to and work with, it's just incredible. I'm very thankful for them and the other connections we've been able to make. So that is what basically brought about Muddy Waters Search and Recovery. In order to do this, I had to walk away from Muddy Waters Hunting and Fishing Adventures, basically shut it down, go from making money, having a business, to basically paying out of pocket to be able to do this. I don't regret that, but it hasn't always been easy, still not, but very thankful that we are still here, able to do what we're doing, and looking forward to many more years of doing this. When it comes to Muddy Waters Hunting and Fishing Adventures, Brantley, my son, loves to go fishing and has convinced me to start making some lures and other stuff again. And these Megan will be selling through Crooked Trail Designs, and we're looking at maybe as early as March. She will have an actual store on a website up, and not just her Etsy page, where all of that will be available. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. But as Alex mentioned it on the live, you know, it's almost been like a roller coaster, the ups and downs, so much emotional, how to say this right. It is a big emotional toll it takes working on some of these cases. You know, we've had cases where it was a baby from a few days old up to I believe the oldest age of a missing person that we've worked on was 98 years old. And just about every age in between. And some of these are very hard, and to affect us emotionally the way it does, in a way helps motivate us to keep doing this, because if it hurts us that bad, never knowing the person, then I will never understand what that family is actually going through. I couldn't imagine it. And, you know, that family deserves answers. The missing person deserves to be found. And we're going to keep working every day to do just that. We have all had that one case that seems to hit us personally a little harder than others. I'm not going to speak so much on our team members when it comes to that, but I will talk for myself here. The Karina McClurkin case out of Kokomo, Indiana, 17-year-old girl went missing. I can go into a long story on this that diverts it a complete different direction. But this case, it hurt. She was located deceased. There is a lot I can say there too, but I'm not gonna. That one, when I got the update, I did come on to do a live and give the update, and literally broke. Had to shut it down. That one affected me. And because of that, that has pushed me to the point I can't give up on any of the cases. And our teammates have had similar experiences. It sticks with you. But 5 years, very proud of that accomplishment. Very proud of our team members, each one of you. Love you guys. You guys aren't just team members, you're part of our family. Really appreciate each and every one of you. With teammates, that does include all of you guys. You guys are part of the Muddy Waters family too. Crazy as we may be sometimes, you're still part of the family. Appreciate everything you do. Let's continue to do everything we can to help bring these missing loved ones home. We will keep you updated on future videos, live feeds, searches that are coming up. We will not be live Sunday, February 8th for the 7:30 p.m. live feed. However, next Sunday night, we will be live. I am working at possibly having a special guest on with us discussing a particular case, and I hope to be able to give you guys that update by Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. When I go in behind the scenes looking at the algorithm, all the numbers on YouTube, most of our views come from people who are not subscribed to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like a video, leave a comment, because that really, really does help us out. We really need to grow this channel more. When we look at the cost that's put in to keep this channel going versus the numbers over here, that's money that could be used better elsewhere, put into doing searches, getting more equipment and gear that we use in our searches. So we really need to grow this channel more. So please be sharing the content. And again, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on. It doesn't cost anything to do that. Please consider joining the channel membership. I've been meaning to do this forever now, but in the next couple weeks, I am working to redo the incentives for the membership levels, all of that good stuff, and we'll come on and update you guys with those. But the membership packages, the cheapest one starts at, I believe it's $4.99 a month. So not that expensive. It really helps the channel out. And we're going to have an incentive package where each tier, I think we have a $4.99, a $9.99, and a $19.99 a month. And each tier obviously is going to have more incentive to get people to sign on. But please check that out. Consider doing that. And again, hit that subscribe button. When we hit 3,000, there will be a big giveaway. As talked about in the live feed, you know, we've given away TVs, Roku boxes, the Google boxes, all sorts of stuff. So a lot of stuff lining up for that. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for being here with us. Everything you guys do to help us, we really appreciate it. Love each of you. You guys stay safe. We will see you guys down the road.